capital ship for an ocean trip was the walloping window blind. No wind that blew dismayed her crew, nor troubled the captain's mind.
What?
The man at the wheel was made to feel contempt for the wildest blow. Though it oft appeared when the gale had cleared, he had been in his bunk below. So blow ye winds, hi-ho, a-roving I will go. I'll stay no more on England's shore, so let the music play.
Welcome to Secret Story Time on Martha's Vineyard. And the book is Curious George Visits a Toy Store. We used to always visit a toy store when we came to Martha's Vineyard. It was Flygar's, and Mark Brown would be there, and he would be signing his books. Let's find out. And you know what else? Clifford, sure. The author of Clifford lived right around the corner from the toy store. Here he is, George. He was a good little monkey. He was always very curious. Today was the opening of a brand new toy store. George and the man with the yellow hat did not want to be late. Oh, look at that line. When they arrived, the line to go inside wound all around the corner. And when the line is this long, it's not easy for a little monkey to be patient. George sneaks through the crowd. All he wanted was a peek inside. George got to the door just as the owner opened it. "No place for a monkey," she said. The toy box grand opening today. But George was so excited. He was already inside. There were balls and dolls and bicycles and games, and they filled the shelves. There were so many toys, George didn't know how some of them worked. And what about those hoops? What did they do? George was very curious. He climbed up to pull one out of the pile, but it wouldn't move. George pulled harder, and still it wouldn't move. He pulled with all fours. Oh no! Suddenly there was a terrible crash. Red, blue, green, yellow hoops bounced up and down and everywhere. "Look," said the boy, bouncing up and down himself. His grandma said, "I haven't seen one of these in years." She put a hoop around her waist and she gave it a spin. George tried the hula hoop too. And then George pretended to be a wheel. He rolled and he rolled. Oops! He rolled right into the owner. The owner shook her head. "I knew you were trouble," she said. "Now you've made a mess of my new store." Again, she tried to stop George. Again, George was too quick. In only a second, he was around the corner and up on the highest shelf. Below him, George saw a little girl point to a toy out of reach. "Mama, Mama, can I get that dinosaur?" George picked up the dinosaur and lowered it down to the girl. She was delighted, and so was the small boy next to her. "Get that ball for me, please," he asked George. And sure enough, George reached up, grabbed the ball, and bounced it down to the boy. "May I have the puppet way up there?" asked another little girl. How lucky that George was a monkey. He swung off the shelf, he hung onto a light, he picked up the puppet and put it right in her hands. "What a show!" shouted a boy, and the children all held up their new toys and cheered. What a commotion! Immediately the owner came running, as did the man with the yellow hat. "I think we've had enough monkey business for one day," the owner frowned. Just then, a girl got in the long line to pay. "What a great store," she said, "and a great idea to have a little monkey helping you," her father told the owner. "I guess you're right," the owner replied and smiled. And then she gave George a special surprise. "Thank you, George. My grand opening is a real success because of you. Perhaps monkey business is the best business of all." Oh, look, the end. She gave him an apron that says Toy Box, just like hers. So maybe he has a job there at the toy store. Well, today we were back and forth, cameraman Dan and myself, about whether we should read this story, The Snail and the Whale, because of our birthday person. Our birthday person is a dear friend, Laura Parker Russo, and she loves this book. She gives it as a gift. We had gotten it as a gift from her, but I had read it already. I had read it on Storytime, so we really couldn't read it again. But every time we see this book, we think of Laura, and now we're going to sing happy birthday to her. But first, we have to find out whether Laura is going to get a chocolate or a vanilla cake. Okay. All right, let's find out. Chocolate, people have voted. That's Molly and Alice and Jolene and Martha and Clara and James and Anna for Marblehead, Wesley and Ben and Bee and Bevy and Henry and Riley, Tate, Coco, Sophia and India, Eliza and Peggy and Angelica, and Julian and Paige, yes. For vanilla, we have KJ and Scarlett and Rafa and Henry and Rocky, Teddy and Joseph, his brother Christopher, Harris and Maya, Marta, Graham, Audrey and Lila, Hudson and Marlo, Maxine, Lulu, Frida, Nora, and Carson all voted for vanilla. Oh no. Oh, and Patrick. Oh, two more. Patrick and Hannah. Oh, vanilla. A lot of vanilla today. Okay, 21 vanilla. Ooh, I don't know. I hope that's what Laura likes. All right. 18 for chocolate. Okay, so it's definitely a vanilla. All right, so I'm sure John has a wonderful, wonderful birthday cake for her. But this cake is pretty fine too. All right, so let's sing to Laura. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Laura. Happy birthday to you. All right. Thank you, cameraman Dan. And Oberon, I hope things are going well at home and that you're listening to our stories. And sure enough, remember, I love you all very, very much.
A capital ship for an ocean trip was the walloping window blind. No wind that blew dismayed her crew, nor troubled the captain's mind.
What?
The man at the wheel was made to feel contempt for the wildest blow. Though it oft appeared when the gale had cleared, he had been in his bunk below. So blow you winds, hi-ho, a-roving I will go. I'll stay no more on England's shore, so let the music play. I'm off for the morning train, I'll cross the raging main. I'm off for my